Yeah, I think for the most part we have a pretty similar list, except for your ranking of the first one, and then your love for Jason Goes to Hell. I think that's pretty much our biggest differences.
I was surprised a lot of people with my love for Jason Goes to Hell.
That's funny. I mean, we'll get to that. So like, I don't want to jump the gun. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead. I mean, just wherever you want to start off. You kind of I've kind of already made my video on this, so let's talk about yours and kind of I don't know. Man, let's talk about the franchise we love.
Yeah, I mean, I think I spoke about this on stream. I got into Friday the 13th when I was a kid. I can't remember exactly how old I was, but between 6 and 8, maybe even younger. I can't quite remember. And it was Friday the 13th Part 3 with Richard Brooker. And it was I believe I seen the last half hour when I was a kid, and it was where Jason had the mask off in the dream sequence, and he's banging his head up against the window, and Pamela Voorhees comes from the bottom. That scared the crap out of me as a kid. Made me go obsessed with horror. That was, and that's the reason why you see all the horror behind me, and I've got like the Jason tattoos and the Jason t-shirts. It was through that's began my love for horror, but it was Richard Brooker who scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. I told him about it when I met him. He found it hilarious.
That's great. I mean, that's great. Like, R.I.P. to the Richard. That dude was a he was a legend in the community as well as I mean, just in the movie itself.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I mean, he was creative and decision. You know, the people. I'm sure you've watched Crystal Light Memories and you got the books like me, and they just talk about him, man. And he was just a beast of a Jason. He was still. Yeah, he is one of my. He's not my number one. We'll get into that, but he is up there, man. I think he played Jason brilliantly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, and plus he's the. I mean, like I said, we'll get into it, but he's the first one to don the iconic hockey mask.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was. Yeah, he was, which is always brilliant. So yeah, but it's that began my love for horror. Was part 3 scaring the crap out of me. Like I said, I was only a kid. I seen the last half hour, and it scared the crap out of me. But that began my love for horror. Um,
it's funny you were a young age too. I was 5 and I snuck and watched a Betamax VHS tape of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like I heard my parents talking about it and they left it in the VCR, so I watched it when they went to sleep at 5 years old, and that kickstarted my love.
yeah, it's amazing how like we've all got different stories. Like believe it or not, the actual do you say Friday the 13th related, but I'll quickly get into it. It's still horror related. Sixth Sense. That's the first film that ever proper got to me. I remember I don't like school when I was young, and I did used to wag it with my mate, and we went to his house, and we watched Sixth Sense, and for some reason, by that time I thought I'd be all right with horror. I was still young, but was watching Sixth Sense, scared the crap out of me, like scared the crap out that much. Just as Dad go out the room, he went out the room to do a coffee. I was literally behind him and accidentally spilt coffee all down his back. And I absolutely adore Sixth Sense, man. It's really good.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that kind of changed like cinema for um I guess short term for the better, but then it kind of became everybody wanted to do the twist ending thing, and then it
Yeah, it did.
kind of came a little played out. But I mean, it was one of those like the first time you watched Sixth Sense, and if you it wasn't spoiled for you, you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, it did. And you see, the scene that got me. Do you remember the lad that walks past and he's got the owl in his head? I
Yeah,
don't know why, man. That scared the crap out of me, and I don't know why.
no, that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, that scared the crap out of me. It's all right. I've got my list here still.
All right,
Uh,
let's jump right into it. Wherever you want to start, we will discuss.
but well, it's probably better off to start from the bottom, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm in with that. I'm good with that. So yeah.
I will say this as well. There's not a Friday the 13th movie I can't watch. I can watch them all, even the worst ones. I still get some enjoyment out of them. There's not a movie that I hate in the Friday the 13th franchise, really. But to me, still the bottom of the barrel is Jason X. I do not like the look of Uber Jason at all. Haynod is still brilliant as Jason. There's still some funny parts. The premature sex scene where there's like the girl comes up and he's eating them. That's hilarious. And there's still some things to enjoy. It's got one of the better kills in the Friday the 13th franchise, one of the best ones. With the nitrogen kill.
Yep.
Where he smashes a face. That's still one of my favourite kills. If you'd have asked me about 7 years ago, this is one movie I wouldn't watch of Friday the 13th. I despised this Jason X. I hated it at one point. I won't even watch it. But I've got to admit, over the years, I can have some fun with it, and it's. I've grown to appreciate it a little bit more, but it's. If I fancy watching Friday the 13th, I'm not really ever going to stick Jason X on. And a funny story, I believe I told this before, I have got the... if you haven't seen the comic book, I'll show it you. When I went to HorrorCon, they had Jason versus Jason X at the HorrorCon, the comic book. And I said to the bloke, I says, can I have a look at the comic book? He goes, why? I was, because if Jason X wins it, I'm bringing it back. It was Uber Jason against original Jason.
So it's funny you bring up that you don't like the look of Uber Jason, because to me, I like the look of Uber Jason, but I think his look prior to him becoming Uber Jason is one of the worst looks he's ever had. The with like the hair on his head when he's like chained up on the wall, and then like he's got hair, and like they kind of zoom in on his eyes, and like they didn't even bother with any makeup. It's just you could tell that's Kane Hodder's eye.
Yeah, he looks more human in that form. And I admit, but for me, I still prefer it over Uber Jason. I just cannot take to Uber Jason. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've still got a figure of Uber Jason because it's still Jason, and the collector in me wants it all.
Yes, sir. Nope, I lose you there. You there?
So, it's weird, like,
you are kind of lagging if you can hear me.
I didn't even watch this movie at one point, but I have grown to appreciate it a little bit more over the years, and I can definitely still have fun with it.
If you can hear me, you're kind of lagging a little bit.
Am I lagging a little bit? I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. Is it a bit better now?
I can hear you fine, but the camera seems to be a little laggy. Oh, there you go. You're moving now. Okay, there you go. I got you.
Better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much on Jason X. If you've got anything else to add, I mean, have you seen the comic book? I've got it. If you want to see the cover.
Yeah, I'd love to see the cover.
Okay. It's a pretty cool book. Little comic book. It's pretty cool. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Let me take the. I'll take it out so you're gonna see the shine. But yeah, that was a funny story. The bloke looked at me like I was a nutter because I says, if Jason X wins, I'll bring it back. So you might as well shout me now.
Well, you are right. Like you are right. It does have one of the best kills in the game, and it does pay, or not kills in the game, kills in Jason history. And then
it does. It does.
And then it pays homage to Part 7 kill, which is one of my favorite kills, with the sleeping bag one.
We share the same favourite Jason kill, I believe. I got a lot of protective covers for my stuff, so it's fine.
Let me ask you, as a collector, because I'm also a collector, do you take your stuff out of the box, or?
Sometimes I do, but it depends. If I think it looks better in the box, I'll keep it in the box for that reason. But I take them out of the box because I'm never going to sell them, and I like to look at them. So more often than not, I'll take them out of the box unless they look better in the box. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I got you.
That's the Jason
Okay, that
So
looks cool. Who's the artist on that? Do you know?
um, it's done by Avatar, and where's the artist? Um, Story and artwork by Mike Wolfer,
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
and it has got some cool fingers. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, the Jason fanatic in me would get to the cinema if they announced Jason versus Jason X. I'd watch it.
Oh yeah, I mean, at this point, what we're like 13 years without a Jason movie. At this point, I would just watch Jason paint a wall. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'll take any Jason film. I'll take any of them. I mean, like I say, it's funny how Jason X has changed with me. I can watch it now. And it's grown on me a little bit. There's some fun kills in there, and it's you can have fun with it if you know it can be fun.
yeah, I like the where the teacher's like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah,
He just wanted his machete back, and it's like,
yeah,
oh man.
it's amazing. There is some funny stuff in there, and in the CGI world where he's just killing the dragons, and like it's a part of it. It's brilliant.
Yep.
Part's funny, man.
All right, so we got Jason X at the bottom. So what do we have next?
Jason Takes Manhattan.
All right, that's the. Where did I put that one at? I think I put that one at the very bottom, or where you got it. I think it might be.
Yeah,
I think we're the
I've got
same on this
Jason-
one.
Yeah, this is right. Jason X was in the D center, and Jason Takes Manhattan is in C. So I do prefer this quite a bit over Jason X because Kane Hodder for me is still brilliant in this role. I mean, he's brilliant for all of them, but I do think because people are not really that mad on Jason Takes Manhattan, I think his performance goes under the radar. I think he was still brilliant in this, and
Yeah.
like when he punches the head off, he's fantastic. I'm one of the few. A lot of people don't like it, but I like the slimy look of Jason. I thought that was cool. It was different.
That's so I think I put that one in the C column because I'm not going to give any of them an F because I think it's just disrespectful for anything. But I do agree with you that I put that on my second list or the one above you, and where you said like people really kind of write it off. For me, I write it off because it's Jason Takes Manhattan, but he's only in New York for 20 minutes, and for some reason he's still chasing the same people that they were chasing on the boat. Like,
Yeah, and that's my problem with it. If the film would have took more place in Manhattan, because when he gets to Manhattan, one of my all-time favourite scenes in Friday the 13th is where them gangsters in the gang are like listening to the music. He kicks it, and then like they say like, you know, pulls out the knife and he takes the mask off, and then they're like, "Oh, it's fine, man, it's fine." I love it. That's brilliant.
oh yeah, that's a great scene.
There is some cool scenes in it. I don't particularly think it's really that much of a bad movie. It's just the movies in front of it I just enjoy more.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I just think the setting is bad.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And you know, I love the start with the music as well. It's a great scene, and it's got a great soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
The promo video was brilliant. You know, where Jason's like in like Manhattan and stuff. Like the promo really hyped it up, and then we got 20 minutes of him in Manhattan.
And I'm drawing a blank on the name, but like that's another one of my favorite kills is in that where it's the V guitar.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That is.
Yeah. You know, I think the biggest problem I have with that movie is how at the ends, I mean, he gets put in toxic waste and becomes a little kid again. Like I'm still kind of confused by what's that supposed to mean. I mean, is he a metaphor or what?
I don't know if it's a metaphor. You went on about this before, and I sort of agreed with that when you think about it. Like, was it a metaphor? But to me, it just didn't make sense.
No.
If I'm honest with you, if it wasn't for the ending, this might be a little higher up. And especially if it was more in Manhattan. Like, if the film would have had like an hour in Manhattan.
Oh, I agree.
Probably be way up there because I enjoyed seeing him in Manhattan. And another one of my favourite scenes, I absolutely adore it to this day, is, you know, where he's looking up and he sees that big hockey mask and he just tilts his head.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it, man.
Yeah, and that's a great scene. I kind of forgot about that, but yeah, when he's the billboard up there and he's like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah, and he tilts. It's how he tilts his head, like he's confused. He's like, is it like? It's sort of. He's sort of looking at it like, saying, "Why am I on like a big billboard?" Like you don't get it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yep.
I love it.
And hindsight.
Me,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's all right, mate. Go on.
I said hindsight being what it is. It has a kind of ironic kill in it in the diner. With Ken Kersinger getting killed.
Yeah. That was. I'm sure he'd have done more than that if he'd have known what was going to happen.
Yeah. I imagine if Kane knew he was going to lose his job to him, he would probably threw them to damn wall.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't blame Ken. I don't blame him. I'm sure he'd done the best he could with Jason.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm just gutted that it was Kane Hodder.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't blame. We'll kind of. I'm stuttering now. We'll circle back to that, but yeah, we kind of. Ken did what he had to do, and Kane was kind of left out.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, man. Because to me, it should have been Robert versus Kane.
Oh yeah.
Freddy versus Jason. That's what it should have been, but you know, what can we do?
Yeah.
We can do.
We'll just get on the internet and bitch about it.
Yep. That's all we can do as fans.
All right, so that's part 8. We got so I think let's see, where did I put I had Jason X in my bottom column, and then I had Manhattan and C. So I think we are.
We got that same.
Yep. All right. So what's your next one?
Right, we're into B, and at the bottom of B is Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
Now, with Freddy vs. Jason, I can honestly admit I watch this film a lot. It's still fun. I don't mind Ken as Jason, but when I watch this, when it's Jason, it is more of like a Frankenstein Jason with how he moves and how tall he is, and I think that's what they was going for. No, I will admit, I said this before on stream, and I've said it to you, that Ken's my least favourite Jason, but that doesn't mean I don't like him as Jason. I mean, I've even got like his Jason tattooed on me. It's a cool look, and I do like his performance. It's just my least favourite, and it does leave a sour taste in my mouth that it wasn't Kane Hodder. But again, I don't blame Ken for that. I'm sure he's done his best, and he's done a good job. It's just my least favourite performance of Jason. I still enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is. And you know, look, yeah, it's not Kane Hodder, but it's still Freddy vs. Jason. It's still a fun movie. I watch this film a lot, and one of the biggest things for me is the old water thing, man.
Yes.
It's just like,
yes,
man, he ain't scared of water. Like, what you doing? That frustrates me, but I can get past that and go, you know what, Freddy vs. Jason, it's a fun film. Grab some popcorn, grab a few drinks, and you can have a laugh with your mates.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I ranked it. I ranked it in my C column, but for me, you are right. Like, it's not Ken's fault, because I mean, if any one of us got offered the role of Jason, we would take it. And like, I'm sorry, Kane, but I get to play Jason now. But two, like, you know, I think as fans, we were very spoiled with Kane Hodder. His little mannerisms and his movements and how he's able to bring a character who doesn't talk or has a mask, like how he's still able to bring that character to life. We were really spoiled in the 4 movies prior to that.
I fully agree.
And then the other thing, obviously, is going back to the water bit. I mean, I don't know as a writer or as how somebody's like, hey, I want to write something for Friday the 13th. You're going to make Jason afraid of water. When there is a documented on film, him going into the water to kill people in rafts, to drown people, jumping out of the water. I mean, how the first time we actually see the little kid Jason, he's jumping out of the water. Like, this is, that's a
I don't get it.
Terrible plot point.
It annoys me.
Yeah.
It annoys me. I get it as, you know, like, as horror fans, I think I'm right in saying this, and I do, somewhat I believe. I don't think any other genre in film is as passionate as horror films. Like, I don't think there is. Like,
Oh no.
it's like lived and breathed. I mean, yeah, there's people that love action movies and comedies and stuff, but you don't see them like with the tattoos and collections like we've got and everybody else that's obsessed with horror. It becomes like a real living, breathing thing. And another thing I've got to say, I don't know whether this is a plus or not. Freddy vs. Jason reminds me of like wrestling event. It feels like a wrestling event. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
It does. It doesn't feel like a horror film. It's like a big WrestleMania event where the two collide, and then you've not really got a winner, which I get. You know, you can't really kill either of them, really. But like I say, even with all its flaws, I still do enjoy Freddy vs. Jason a lot. I mean, I've got T-shirts of it. I've got the figure bit down there. I've even got a tattoo of it. I've got a big Jason cardboard cutout here, and it's the Ken one of Freddy vs. Jason. I do love the look of the Freddy vs. Jason. Like I say, I know I've said it a few times, but even though Ken's my least favourite Jason, I still enjoy his performance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad, and it's not his fault. He was given what he was given, and he did the best that he could. I think I do agree with your sentiment on like how it's like a wrestling event. It does. It does.
Like it.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like a horror movie. Like there's not a point where you're like ooh or like. I mean, there's a couple kills I guess that are interesting.
The bed kill where he snaps the back.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, that was a
Brilliant.
good one.
Brilliant. I love it. That's brilliant.
That's probably I think my best one, my favorite one out of that.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know if you agree with me here, but do you think like Jason in that film, Freddy vs. Jason, is more like Frankenstein with how he moves?
Oh, I agree. Oh yeah.
He reminds me of like Frankenstein. He really does in that film with how slow he is and just that. I mean, another kill I do like, you know, where he kills them all at the party and he's like poking him and he pulls his head straight round.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's brilliant as well.
Yeah, and what's funny is when I watched like when I've watched it for several times, I never noticed that the guy that was running away, like his buddy, he's like, "Well, hello, Jethro." Like when he's running, you could still tell he's got the blood in his mouth. Like so when like the sword or the machete goes through him, you can see it like come out. I'm like, oh man, it kind of ruined that for me. But yeah, that scene was great.
Yeah, it was. It was a slaughter, man. So yeah, like I say, even with all its flaws, Freddy vs. Jason is always a fun movie I can, stick on and still have fun too.
Yeah, I'm that way too. Robert's perfect as Freddy.
Love him.
And his performance kind of overshadows Jason because Jason doesn't say anything, so he's just a big lumbering kind of idiot, and Freddy's this quick-witted and quick, apparently really quick fighting.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the thing that I miss with it. And again, like I keep saying, nothing against Ken. I do like Ken as Jason is fine, but you imagine the personality Jason would have if it was Kane Hodder against that Freddy. It just horrible to think about, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to listen to it.
I agree, man. I agree. I want a Kane to have that. He pushed so hard for that movie for only him to get kind of screwed out. Well, not get kind of. He was screwed out of it. So that's a big rip for Kane there.
And that does leave a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Sorry if you can hear something outside. There's kids playing outside.
No, you're good. You'll probably hear my dogs here shortly. You're good.
Yeah, it's right. There's kids playing outside.
All right, so we got Freddy vs. Jason there in the B for you. I had mine in C. So, all right, what we got next?
Right, so just to recap, there's only one in D, one in C, which is Jason X. Jason Takes Manhattan. And then in the bottom of B is Freddy vs. Jason. Next is a film that I love that a lot of people don't, which is Jason Goes to Hell.
Okay.
Now, I will admit, I love how absolutely bat crazy this film is. I love how different it is. It's got a different feel. Duke is one of the my favourite people out of the entire franchise. He's brilliant. Where and I forgot the bloke's name, where he's holding his hand and he breaks his finger and he's laughing while doing it. I love it. I forgot his name.
So you're a Creighton Duke fan?
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
I love Duke, and I love how back crazy this film is. It's so different, and it gave me something to think about when they had like the Evil Dead reference. It was like what, like it was crazy with the book, the Necronomicon.
Oh yeah.
And I will say I only really love the unrated version with the because the kills, that one kill in the tent is absolutely brutal. In my opinion, it's the brutalest kill in the franchise. If you ain't seen the uncut version, watch it.
Okay.
It's brutal. Now, I will admit this film will be closer to the A tier for me if we got more of Jason Voorhees in it.
I mean, yeah, I think that's probably for me why it's not ranked. This is where we differ on our rankings because I have this one, I believe, on my D tier. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
As for just the lack of Jason, and some other things are the reason why I rank low. Like the whole it takes a Voorhees to kill a Voorhees thing. I didn't care for that at all. I do like Creighton Duke though. What's his name from Supernatural?
Yeah, he's brilliant. I forgot his name, but yeah, Duke. He's one of my favourite characters out the entire franchise. One of them, man. He cracks me up. He's brilliant, man, and he cracks me up. But yeah, I really enjoy Jason Goes to Hell. I really do, and I'm with you on that. Like the old Voorhees kills a Voorhees. Like I wasn't against it, but I wasn't for it either. It's just like there for me. Like this film would be closer to the top if it had a lot more Jason, because I love the look of Jason in this film. With a big head and everything, and I like the idea of him getting. I didn't like he got blown up. I didn't mind it if we'd have seen more of him, but I like the idea that it shows that you can't really be killed because he can let people do what he wants. He can make you eat his art or whatnot. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, and like for me, I just sort of enjoy how batshit crazy this film is. If I'm honest, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I rank low for me. Is I wasn't a fan of that worm thing or how he could like transfer bodies and things like that. Like I just I don't know. I feel like I'm like I like change, but I also like things to stay the same. And I don't. I think I want my Jason to just to be a brutal killer. And I mean, there's a and the whole Voorhees kills a Voorhees thing. And there's documented cases of him dying. He's only been brought back because somebody stuck a stake through him, or he got Tina brought him back to life, or he got electrocuted at the bottom of the lake, and like he's killable. So I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
You know, I get it. I do get it. I think, but like I said, I have got to put it that it's the unrated version that made me love this film. The original version of it put too much out. When it comes to horror films, I admit I'm a gore whore. Like if a horror film wants to impress me, give me a lot of gore. But it's got to have creative kills. Don't get me wrong. If it's got an amazing storyline, great acting and stuff, like the acting's still got to be bearable for me. But if it's got a great storyline, that adds to it for me as well. But, overall, yeah, like I've always enjoyed Jason Goes to Hell, and I know I'm quite alone on that one.
I mean,
I'm alone on that.
I mean, there's there are some there are some people that like it. I'm actually friends with Adam Marcus, the director, on Facebook, and he seems to get a lot of love for that movie still. So even though he knows that I'm not a huge fan of it, he definitely gets some love.
This is what I've spoke about this on the stream a few times as well, and I've spoke to you on it as well in your stream and that. I've never understood why people. Like we're all horror fans here. Every single person that loves horror, we love horror. Damn right. It's like I've said before. I hate Cedar Chucky. Can't stand it. Like honestly, I hate it. I barely be able to watch it. But if somebody loves that film, you're still a horror fan, but it doesn't bother me. I've never understood that. I like to hear people's different opinions and
Oh,
why you might love something that I hate or not rank so high or whatnot. You know, I love to hear people's different opinions.
I mean, yeah, if we all like the same thing, it would be boring. Like, I'm glad we have like a difference of opinion. Like, there's, people think Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is a great horror movie. For me, I think it's the worst movie ever made. But that's just, I'll definitely talk about it.
I agree. Like, it's fine to have an opinion. And that's another thing that I've done that I've noticed that you do either, which is good because I like, what's it called? I'm not going to say real horror fans because that sounds wrong, but I think there's people scared out there to put their opinions out because they're scared of what other people say. For me, I'm always honest with the films that I love and don't love, and for me, I agree with Halloween 2. Even the gore, I'll save that for me. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean it is a terrible from my perspective, and and again, hold on real quick. After the fall 24, thank you for the gifted sub to Annabelle. Appreciate it, Annabelle. Welcome to the flock. Enjoy your emotes. Thank you very much. All right. Sorry about that. I think it's like as a fan, I think if you're like you said, if you're a fan of horror, like there needs to be like this respect. Like social media, I think has really exacerbated a lot of like anger and angst and like how like we want to be critical of everybody's opinions and we need to get better as a society just to make sure that our opinions are or heard. Like, hey, why do you like Halloween 2? Why don't you like Halloween 2? Why do you think Jason Goes to Hell is good? Like this kind of conversation. Like obviously you and I don't agree eye to eye on Jason Goes to Hell, but we were having a whole ass conversation about it.
Yeah, and there's something else that we don't agree on. I'm not talking about the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're talking about one of your favourite Friday the 13th, and it's lower on mine.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be interesting as well.
All right, so we got Jason Goes to Hell. I actually got your list pulled up because I forgot you sent it to me. So I got your list pulled up now. So I see what we're getting ready to talk about. So let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off.
Next for me is, let me get it straight. It's still in the B centre. So I still do enjoy this film and I still do watch it. It was the first Friday the 13th film, so I get Jason wasn't meant to be in it. Jason wasn't even meant to get a sequel. Like Sean said himself, he made this film to try and get food on the table. It's a job. I get it. But a bit like Jason Goes to Hell for me, it's not having Jason in it. Now, when I grew up watching these Jason films and I first stuck on Friday the 13th, I enjoyed it and I loved Pamela Voorhees, but it was the lack of Jason that makes me put it where it is. It's a bit like Jason Goes to Hell. When I watch Friday the 13th, I want to see Jason. I get it and I respect this film and I still enjoy it. I think if it still wasn't a Friday the 13th film and the ending wasn't where Jason jumped out the lake, I'd still enjoy it as a standalone film. But when I think of Friday the 13th, I want Jason, which is why it's where it is. I still think it's a good movie and I still watch it. I have got a poster of it, it's just got to be framed. And I do love this movie, but for me, it's because of not having Jason in it. But Pamela Voorhees was fantastic in it, I think.
Yeah, big rip to Betsy Palmer.
Yeah, Betsy. Yeah. I wish I could have met Betsy. I loved the story where she spoke about when she found out that the son was going to be a Mongoloid, and she's like, "What?" That made me laugh. But she took it because she needed a new car, I believe. So she says, "I'll take the job. Nobody's going to see it." Boy, was she wrong.
Oh yeah. Kind of goes on to be one of the greatest franchises in horror ever.
Yeah, and we'll get into it, but this is just a little thing that there's one thing as much. I am going to go into it because people don't know the ranking that I've got. there's one thing that annoys me with Friday the 13th, the remake. It's that I didn't even offer Betsy any money to play Pamela. To me, that's very disrespectful for the role she created.
I didn't even know that. I thought she had turned it down.
No, they didn't even offer her any money.
Damn, I did not know that.
Yep. And for me, that's disrespectful. Not only because it's Betsy and she's a great actor, even before Friday the 13th, but you're taking the mick, man. It's like offering somebody a job without any money.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But like I say, Friday the 13th, the original, I still love it. But and I love Betsy's performance. But like I say, because I grew up watching, I'm trying to remember, I watched Friday the 13th Part 3 when I was a kid. Then I remember watching Part 4, Part 3. I don't know why I watched them backwards when I was younger. And then, I'm sure you'll get my point. It's because of Jason not being it, but I still do love the Friday the 13th original. That's why it is in the B section, because B's still quite high. Yeah, like, love the film. It's just growing up seeing Jason, I'd have liked to have seen more Jason, but obviously that's not their fault. I didn't know that this was going to blow up and become an horror icon in Jason Voorhees. Like I say, the director, Sean, did not have a clue, and he was just making the film to try and get his career on track, get some bread on the table, is what he said. And when it came out, he was surprised that at the end of the film, people was talking about the kid at the end, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, what they saw Halloween, thought they could make their own, and kind of went with that. But the fact that you rank this as a B, I'm just now unsubbing, unfollowing, and we're no longer friends. So, no, it's so just a quick add on to this. Sean Cunningham, we actually share the same name. My name is actually Sean. And so when you said Sean, so when you said Sean a second ago, I was like, wait, how'd you know that? I'm like, oh yeah, you're talking about Sean Cunningham.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand your rankings. Like, I was, I think there's a 10-year age difference between you and I. I think you were like 33, I'm 43.
Yeah, I'm 33. Yeah.
So like, there's I was able to kind of, even though the OG came out in 1980, I still saw like Friday the 13th, the first one, probably when I was like 7 or 8.
That's amazing. That's brilliant, man.
Yeah, which was, I don't know, my parents weren't all that great, I guess, but I don't know, maybe they were, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we kind of, I kind of was able to catch on to that, and so you have your rankings as a B. For me, it's like I have. What did I have my rankings? I think I had, because I wasn't given anything in F. It was like D, C, B, A, and then God tier. And then I put the first one in God tier because for me, we can't have the other. What are we at? 12 now? 12 films, something like that.
Yeah.
We can't have the other 11 without the first one, and it set up the whole story. RavenEAP, you were old. Okay, somebody ban after the fall. Get her out of here. And like you said, Betsy Palmer. I'm glad she thought this movie was going to be a trash can and no one would see it, because her performance as Pamela Voorhees is brilliant, and has set up just a continuation of the story throughout the series. The sweater in part 2, all that is fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. Like I say, I remember when I first watched this. Obviously, I knew a lot of the backstory back then, and I knew Jason was going to be in this film. I knew that, apart from I heard about it, the ending. So I knew what to expect, but I still do enjoy this movie. For me, B is still I. That's why it's in the B section. That's why, like I said, when it comes to any ranking, I always try and be as authentic with it as I can, possibly. I've watched these films a lot, so I think I still love this film, and that's why I've only got Jason X and Jason Takes Manhattan at the bottom really, because like I say, I've got one in D, one in C, and there's a few in B as well. So, but yeah, I still love this film. Betsy Palmer was brilliant. Hearing her talk on when she was doing interviews and reading her interviews in the Crystal Light Memories about nobody will watch this film. And
Yeah.
a reaction that Jason was going to be a mongoloid, and she took the job because she wanted a new car, and she thought, well, nobody's going to see this film, and just it's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's $1 billion franchise now.
Yeah, and like I say, rest in peace to her, and I'm really gutted I never got to meet Betsy.
Yeah, I never got to meet Betsy either. I do have her autograph though. My wife, uh, I think for one of my birthday or anniversary or something like that, she bought me the Friday the 13th DVD that had her signature on there. I believe from her store.
It's amazing.
So like I do have her autograph, which is nice. But I definitely would have been nice to meet her.
Yeah, I'm gutted I never got to meet her because I am having just a little shrine to her. It's just a little thing that I'm having. I'm having the sweater that she wore on me, like a little tattoo with like the weapon she was holding. So I'm having that as like a little thingy because I want all the Friday the 13th franchise like references on me at some point.
Yeah, that'd be that. Yeah, I would love to see all that
As well. So yeah, I'll definitely show you. You're dropping your phone. Now we're on to in my section. We're on to the last one in the B section for me.
Which is knowing what I know about you and where you rate certain Jasons, I am surprised to see this one rank kind of in the middle, I guess, of your rankings.
Yeah, I mean, Part 3D, Part 3, depending what people want to call it. Love this film. It's just, I've got to be honest, from here, it was so hard to do, man. It was really hard, especially this section. The goat section was pretty easy for me, like I pretty much knew, but going to these last ones before the goat section for me was really hard, man. Like it was so hard. I had to be honest. I thought, what would I what would I rather watch? There's just a few more films that I enjoy more than Part 3, and to me, I love Part 3. It's the first one I've seen. What got me into Friday the 13th. What got me into horror in general, and I love the performance of Richard Brooker. Love Shelley. He cracks me up.
Yeah, oh yeah, Larry Zerner. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was awesome to see him come back to the game as well.
Yep, that was really cool.
Yeah, because I was following him religiously when he was talking about the franchise, that when it's going for the lawsuit and everything. Because I was gutted when the game got stopped, basically, that we couldn't get no more stuff, no more films.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Love Shelley. He gave Jason the hockey mask as well. Richard Brooker was a beast. I love the kills where he's popping his head in, the eye comes out. The 3D shots where it's like sort of put into your face, it's like there it is, like in your face, like it's like okay, we get it, it's in 3D. But overall, I love the kills in this film. Jason's a beast in this film. Richard Brooker's amazing. Rest in peace to him as well. I was very lucky to meet Richard Brooker. He was a nice bloke. I said the story before, but I'll say it again real quick. When I met Richard Brooker, I said to him, acting's got to be one of the greatest jobs. You must love it. And he looked at me, blew, and went, he says, no, mate. He says, it was horrible.
Yeah.
He says, no, he says, I'm thankful for it all. He says, but he used the word somewhat along the lines of, he says, it's great. He says, but people don't realise how much work actually goes into making these sort of films. But he was so down to earth. He was a nice bloke. Rest in peace to Richard Brooker.
Yeah, we're coming up on
Yeah,
10
I
years.
love part three. It's the only thing I can say. The films for it is, I enjoy just a little bit more. Like I say, from here now on, it's so hard, man. So hard.
I agree. Like I knew which ones were going to be at the bottom, but yeah, it's kind of once we start getting like once you start kind of getting into the films that you really care and like and things, it got really difficult. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with.
Like,
I mean, I agree with you. I think for me, this one fell in the C category. Um, and I think the only reason I gave it a C, was because the um, Dana Kimmel's character, Chris, annoyed the crap out of me so
yeah,
much. Like it was like it was like the little kid in the Babadook. Like that movie I can't watch it because of the little kid, and it's almost that way with the character of Chris. I'm like, I really wanted you to get your head bashed in with a axe or something. Like this was, it was rough, and obviously it was what 1982 when it came out. So I mean, I guess the 3D effects weren't compared to today's standards not good.
yeah. It just feel a little off. Like when now, like that, like I said, they're just pointing in the mirror. It's like, look, it's in 3D, and I'm like, yeah, we get it. It's in 3D. Like, on with the movie. You get what I mean?
Yeah, like when the eye pops out, you can clearly see like the line, and it's like shooting towards the TV or
Yeah.
the camera. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
like even where sort of like where she's just putting out the line and like the stick's like right in your face, and I'm like, all right, I get it. Like it's in 3D. Okay, I know. You
yeah,
get what I mean?
yep, yeah. But I mean,
So
this is the movie though. The third one here. This is where we get introduced to the iconic Jason look, where, as you said, Larry Zerner, Shelley, uh, he's got the hockey mask playing a prank, and then he ends up finding himself not alive anymore, and Jason dons the mask.
and
So
like I said, I some people in the franchise I've seen, especially on like comments and that, like a lot of people don't like Shelley. I absolutely adored him. He cracked me up. He was brilliant. Um, and I've got to say, I don't know if people catched on to this. I'm sure you probably have, but I love the little nod to Halloween where Jason's like standing there, like behind like the towel, like they do that scene in. I think that was took from Halloween.
where he's standing behind the
Um,
bush.
yeah, it sort of just reminds me of Halloween, and I've always said that I owe a lot to the. I mean, I do love Halloween. We are talking about Halloween, but I'm just going to say. I've got a mate who's obsessed with Michael Myers, and I've always said I'm thankful to Michael Myers because if for Michael Myers, it wouldn't be a Jason Voorhees.
True, 100%, 100%.
So I think that's cool. Which is why we need, in my opinion, we need Michael Myers versus Jason.
This could be that'd be interesting because it's two characters. I think we talked about that on your stream. It's two characters that don't talk. That was
Yeah,
one of the saving
interesting.
yeah, one of the saving graces of Freddy vs. Jason was Freddy. He's an eccentric character who is full of sarcastic wit and is kind of an asshole. Obviously, I mean, but besides killing people, he's also just an asshole.
Yeah, he is, yeah,
So yeah,
he is.
you would need a strong supporting cast, I think, to get a Michael vs. Jason.
Yeah, you would. You'd need like you'd have to blend it so well in order for it to work. But I think with the right cast, it could definitely work. And I know I'd be super hyped if a trailer dropped and you just seen like Jason versus Myers.
That I mean, yeah, the fan
That's
in
my
me,
dream.
the fan in me would love it. I don't necessarily know why why they'd be squaring off, but I guess we didn't really need a real. They tried to give us a reason, Freddy versus Jason, but um, maybe there was a good reason. Maybe like, hey, I'm the mute that's with the most kills. Let's get it done. Or
I'll tell you, there's one way I have thought that they could do it, just to throw it in there a little. He finds out he's got another family member or whatever, and she's seen somebody who lives by Crystal Lake or something. they move to Crystal Lake and Moise goes over, and then Jason's actually only. It's simple as hell, but you know.
Oh man, yeah, it might work. I mean, nobody's. I guess ultimately nobody's going to go the Michael versus Jason and be like, well, man, this doesn't make any sense. Like no one's there for that. Everybody be there just to watch kills, and I'm in for that.
I'm a sucker for verses. I love them. Like I love versus films. I love them. I've always been that way.
Have you watched? Have you got a bunch of the comic books like Michael versus Jason versus Ash or Leatherface versus Ash?
I've got to pick it up. It's just proper deer, man. I've got to pick it up at some point, but I will. But it's just proper deer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so part 3, just real quick. Like you said, Richard Broker passed away. So, but it was 10 years. He passed away April 8th, 2013. I can't believe it's been almost 10 years already.
It's crazy. It flies by. It absolutely flies by.
Yeah, it's insane, man. I can't. 10 years. Whew.
Flies by.
All right. So, so to recap for you, you have Jason X at D, correct?
Yep.
Manhattan at C.
Yep.
And then Freddy vs. Jason. Jason Goes to Hell. The OG Friday the 13th, which I got to unsub from you. And then Friday the 13th Part 3 at
Yeah.
B. All right. So now we got 6 movies left. So let me see what's in your what you got in your next one. Because we're Part A now. So let me hear where you're at.
Right, now we're on A. And my next one in bottom of A list, which is high, very high, is one of my favourites that I see it get a bit more love these days, but it's still not. Still see a lot of slack for it, and I don't quite understand why. I just think it's because it's not the real Jason. But when you're watching this film, it feels like real Jason, just because of Roy. But is Part 5. I absolutely love this film. I watched this film so many times. I adore Part 5. I think it's a great film. Some of the kills are some of the best. I forgot his name, but the kid who
What's up, Dave?
Hit with the axe for offering him a chocolate. I love that kid. I forgot his name.
Oh, Vic is the guy that kills him. Who is I know Vic is the guy that kills him. What is his name? Oh shit, that's gonna bother me now.
I also love the girl who's doing like that weird dance in the room. I forgot her name. I love her.
Yeah. You know what? I gotta Google this. That's gonna bother me now.
And I think the whole cast in this film. Kills are brilliant, and you don't know it's not Jason. You don't have a clue it's not Jason.
That's true.
Like, you don't have a clue. When I first watched this film, like the very start, I thought it was Jason all the way through. I thought, well, why has he got a blue mask? That's weird. But
yeah.
Was,
hey Mac, how you doing, man?
Until the mask come off and it was Roy, I was like, oh my god! And then it made sense because his son and everything.
Yeah. God, what was his? I can't. I'm trying to find his name because it's going to bother the shit out of me now. And like it is my one goal in life now is to figure out who Vic killed.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
I
forgot his name, but yeah, man. Part 5. I never understood the hate for it. I think the cast is brilliant.
I mean,
character.
Great,
in my opinion.
It gets the hate because it wasn't a real Jason, and perhaps kind of it suffers a little bit probably from John Shepard's performance as Tommy Jarvis. But to your point,
liked him as Tommy. I enjoyed his performance. I think you'd be surprised to know how many times I randomly just feel like watching Part 5. I watch it a lot.
Well, Part 5 does have some great kills. I mean, Debbie Voorhees' kill, shares the same name. Great kill. I mean, Part 5 is criminally underrated, and it is underrated just because it's not quote unquote Jason. But it still carries on, like you said, the Jason the Jason Heritage because it's got Tommy Jarvis in it, who obviously killed the human form of Jason in part 4. And so for those of you that don't know that are watching this, Friday the 13th 1 through 4, allegedly Jason lives as a kid, is a human through all of those. Actually dies at the end of part 4. Part 5 is like this new, like this guy goes sane, takes the form of Jason to avenge his son's death, and then 6, Jason gets resurrected, and that's the start of the Zombie Jason series from going out forward. So this was kind of like with that was the ultimate death of Jason in part 4, which is why they created part 5, because it made a shit ton of money, and they were like, hey, we need to do something. Well, Jason's dead, so this is why they did that.
And I've got to be honest, to some degree, do watch like the other Friday the 13th, like, which I won't go into a lot of detail because we'll get to them, but we've already spoke about part 3 and part 1. But there's a part of me that thinks he must have already been dead, because like he drowned, come back, he looked dead. He got hung in part 3 and everything. He just kept coming back, but he moved like a human. It's weird, man. It's mad. I've always talked about it as how I explain it, because I've had people say to me, well, how did he survive all that? For me, I think it's sort of true what they say in like the trailers and stuff. It's like a curse on Crystal Lake, and I think maybe he was already dead, but he moved like a human. But then once his body fully composed and everything, and that's when he becomes sort of zombie Jason. Because I think, like, how could a human survive all what he's survived? Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, it does. And you kind of, and once you hear the lore of Jason, like this kid allegedly drowned in the lake but didn't drown, and ended up surviving long enough to watch his mother get beheaded in the first one.
And he must have been down in that water for ages, and it's something that I've always like thought about. I thought, well, was he dead? Were he dead? I know he moved like a human. Did he just like decompose or something?
Well, I believe the official synopsis is he's alive in 1, he's alive in 2. Obviously, he gets kind of like whacked in the shoulder area by Amy Steele, which we'll get into.
And
I know. He gets hung in 3. 4, he gets his hand split in half and then the machete through his head. So that kind of essentially, that was supposed to be the end of like the human Jason. But to your point, I see what you're saying, because like when he gets killed at the end of 4, that doesn't look like a human at all.
Yeah.
Like,
no. And in part 3, like, he literally gets hung and breaks his neck. Like, you can hear like the thud, and then he just takes it off. Like,
yeah.
I'm just going to turn the light on a sec as well, because it's gone a bit dark.
Nope, you're good. Yeah, it's probably getting late over there in England.
There we go.
Because it's about 8 o'clock over there?
Yeah, near enough, yeah. Near enough 8 o'clock, yeah. So, yeah, but for me, part 5 is a great movie. Still, it's got a bit more love these days. But, I mean, you can see the Jason part 5 mask behind me there. I've got it there. That's part 5.
Okay, yep.
Got that there. So, yeah, I love part 5. Like I say, I've got to admit, man, like, this was painful to do, man, because it's so hard. Like, the bottom 2 was easy. After that was quite hard. I mean, well, I knew where the first 2 was easy, because I knew Jason X would be at the bottom, then it'd be Jason Goes to Hell, then it'd be Freddy versus Jason. But then after that, it was really, really hard, man, because like after that, like, I like all the movies, but after them first 3 ones, I love the rest. So it was just difficult to do, man.
And to your point, like, I think part 5 kind of suffers the same indignity that Halloween 3 suffers.
Halloween 3 is brilliant.
Yeah, if you were to just take Halloween out of that name, that movie is a god tier horror movie for me. Like, it's one of my favorites. Like, I think Tom Atkins is absolutely amazing in that movie, and I think it suffers just because it's Halloween 3, so everybody was expecting Michael Myers, and the same thing with Friday the 13th Part 5. Everybody wanted a Jason, but the crazy thing is like we get somebody that kind of looks like Jason, and people were still unhappy with it, and I don't get it, but it has great kills. The Debbie Voorhees, the shears through the eyes as she's laying down after they had sex, a great kill.
It's brilliant. And just quick shout, I'm sure you've seen number. Have you seen all the fan films of Friday the 13th?
I've seen a lot of them. Yeah, I saw like Never Hike Alone and um, what was the other one?
You seen 13 Fanboy?
I have it. I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't got around to it yet.
Amazing. And watch Roseblood, the New Blood sequel.
Oh, there's a New Blood sequel. I didn't even know that.
And she makes a return.
Okay. Okay.
She makes a return. I won't say anything because you ain't seen it, but watch it. It does it. Yeah, it's called Roseblood, and I'll tell you what, it's fantastic.
It's called Roseblood.
It's Roseblood. It's that good. For once, I actually jumped off my seat because there's a surprise in there, but I won't say nothing.
All right, I've got it. I've got it added to the list. All right.
The Jason in it's brutal, man. The kills are brilliant. I'm telling you. So I'm getting excited just talking about it. So
well, being that we are like-minded people, I would definitely give that a watch.
And all I'll say, it's in the trailer. If you watch the trailer, Tina's back.
Yeah, I just saw that Laura Park Lincoln was in it. Yeah, I just said I just Googled it and saw that she was there, which is good for me because she's my favorite final girl.
So,
love me some Laura Park Lincoln.
But you wait till you watch it. It's so good. It's brilliant. Right. So we've pretty much spoke about. Do you want anything to add to part 5?
No, I think we covered it. According to my buddy Dave here, he rose the roll his eyes emojis when we're talking about 5. So clearly not a fan of good kills. But I mean, to be fair, this guy. To be fair, the guy that just rolled his eyes live tweets pitch perfect quotes on Facebook, so his opinion, it doesn't really matter in this conversation. All right, so yeah, we got part 5 there at the bottom of your A list. All right, so if I remember correctly, I think we got. Go ahead.
Next in the A list is another personal favourite of mine. This was really hard to choose between this one and the other one. Is I absolutely adore part 2, Friday the 13th. I'm a fan of the Baghead Jason. Love the look in this of the Baghead, and I just look at him and it looks spooky to me, man. And it's the first time we ever really got to see adult Jason, and just something about this film, man, that just grips me. That I
okay, I see what you're saying there. I got you.
can watch it like. I don't want to sound like a psycho here, but I can just watch it over and over again without getting bored of it. It's and the end sequence where like he's got the sweater on that his mum wears, and and how he just tilts his head, and then it's just. I don't know, man. I love part 2. Just something about it that I can't quite put my finger on. That just makes me keep going back to this film that I'll watch over and over again.
Oh, it's a really good film. I think Amy Steele as Jenny does a fantastic job.
Underrated.
I think she's a strong lead, a strong foe against Jason too. I mean, I think she's probably my second favorite final girl in all the series. Maybe tied with Adrienne King because I gotta respect the OG, but which we'll actually talk about her in a second too because she's part of this movie as well. But yeah, no, this is I think you're dead on. The Baghead Jason's great. You know, I do like the scene where he has to put on Amy puts on the sweater and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, and she's like talking, and like you see the flashbacks of Pamela Voorhees, and he's just tilting his head. I've even when I go to Oricons, sometimes I always do. Sometimes I cosplay Jason. I've cosplayed part 3, part 4, and the part 2 one. So
that's pretty cool.
Just I can't quite put a finger on it why, like, this is one of my most go-to Friday the 13th films when I feel like watching a Friday the 13th. This is like even sometimes the one that I've got before this one, I'll still watch this one more than the one that's before this one. There's just something about it that just grabs my attention, and I love the look of Baggett Jason. He just looks spooky as hell, man.
Let me real quick. I gotta do something real quick.
Okay.
Get out of my chat, you idiot! You freaking bot trying to sell follows and likes. I don't need you in this damn thing. You get out of here
No,
too. All right, and then we got a comment from my buddy Dave. It seems like I like Jason X more than you two, and we both have Jason X ranked at the bottom of our list, so I would say you do.
yeah, I'm not. I mean, I can watch it. Like we've spout like within the Friday the 13th franchise. There's not a film I can't watch. I can watch them all and have fun with them. It's just yeah, they're just when I feel like watching a Friday the 13th film, it's not really Jason X I go to. The only time I really watch Jason X is if I'm doing like a Friday the 13th marathon.
Yeah. Hey.
And I'll watch it.
My wife is in the chat. Hey, can you kind of keep an eye out on chat? We seem to be getting spam botted with a lot of these followers by follower requests. So if you can kind of keep an eye out on that, I'd appreciate it.
They're annoying now, though.
Yeah, right. Like why would I want?
They're proper annoying.
Like, why would I want to buy followers? Like, I want to grow organically. That way, we have interactions like this. All right. So back to part two. I know we got sidetracked there.
Okay,
R.I.P. to Steve Dash, by the way. We've lost several Jasons.
Steve Dash was brilliant as Jason.
Obviously, we lost Steve Dash. But there was also another guy that played Jason in this movie. Was Warrington Gillette, who probably doesn't get enough credit as being part of the Jason as he was. I won't get into the story why there's two Jasons there, like because there's conflicting stories. One is Warrington quit, and another was he got fired. And I don't want to get into all that because I think they're both good. And I'm not here to pick a side on that. I mean, because obviously they're behind a mask, but I think Steve Dash was really, really good. Warrington Gillette as well was really, really good. I agree. The sweater scene was fantastic. I think Amy Steele's great.
She's brilliant. She's amazing.
And for those of you who don't know, the reason I'm just going to go ahead and say spoiler on this, even though the movie came out 41 years ago. Just spoiler, heads up. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, is that the fact that Adrienne King dies? In the opening scene. Alice gets killed by Jason too, and the reason she actually came back for the film to get killed was because she had a little bit of a stalker problem, and she really feared for her safety, so she kind of wanted to kill off the character and kind of step away.
Yeah, and it was a scary thing. That's why you ain't seen 13 fanboy yet, have you? You said
no, I got it, but I got it on Amazon Prime. I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, she's in that too.
Oh, is she? I know they bring like a lot of people back for that one.
Oh yeah. There's some. Tell you what, watching it right, watching 13 Fanboy. Have you read the synopsis? I think I'm saying it right. I can't announce it right. Synopsis of the story. Do you know what the story's about? Like it's a fanatic horror fan.
Yeah, I think it's
Friday the 13th too.
Yeah.
Gets a little bit uncomfortable to watch because it feels like they take like real inspirations of I can admit that I'm obsessed with horror films. I'm sure you're obsessed with horror as a genre, and we love it. But there is people out there that can take it a little too far and make the actors feel uncomfortable, and they get it in like the mental heads that they're going to marry the actors and all that sort of stuff, and that makes them feel uncomfortable. And you can tell with 13 Fanboy, they really go on to try and explain that, look, you can make us feel uncomfortable if you're too over-obsessed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, certainly.
Because I think there's a difference between being obsessed through having a passion and being like completely gone in the head and like thinking you're gonna like marry the actors and start going out and like, I don't know if you heard of the story. There was a Freddy Krueger fan. To me, he's not a fan. He's just an idiot. People that do this are idiots. He watched Nightmare on Elm Street over and over and over again. He made a Freddy glove and went next door and slashed up his next door neighbour.
Oh wow. No, and like yeah, you can't call those people fans. I mean, those are just mentally,
Psychos.
I mean, like mentally unstable or just psychos, like you said, and just kind of.
They're not fans.
And but
13.
yeah, I'm glad for 13 Fanboy touches on that point. Like, I mean, there is a difference between fandom and fanaticism. I mean, there is a difference, and that needs to be addressed.
There is. I agree fully. And it touches on that well. So believe me, you'll enjoy that, and you'll enjoy Roseblood as well. It's really good.
Yeah, I got Roseblood on the I got that on the queue. Got that saved in my bookmarks.
Have you seen Never Hike in the Snow?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it, man. That shot where he's in the snow with the thing, man.
Yep. Yeah. So obviously, as you all know, there's been a lawsuit with Friday the 13th. Well, you might not know. There's been a Friday the 13th lawsuit, which kind of hindered any production of anything new Friday the 13th related. So we've been, as fans, I say for a lack of better word, stuck. Even though I think some of these fan films are high quality. I've been getting a lot of Friday the 13th fan films, and like Never Hike Alone, 13 Fanboy, which I got in my queue, and what was the other one? Roseblood. While I haven't seen it, like I can see from the images I'm looking here on my screen in the video that these appear high quality, and it's fantastic that we as fans are able to create these and kind of give to the masses to appease our hunger until this lawsuit's settled.
I'll tell you something else I wish I'd done, and I said it to my mate. I wish Hollywood would give for fans the money to do the films, because I tell you what, you get quality films, because small companies like that can make YouTube films based on Friday the 13th and make great films like that. You imagine what they could do with the bigger budgets.
Yeah, I mean, if I imagine, I'm gonna look him up just so he gets a shout out here. Never Hike Alone director. Vincetti DeSanti. Like, imagine what he could do with a big production for a Jason movie. Never Hike Alone came out in 2017. Fantastic. I mean,
yeah, it's brilliant. It's amazing. And I forgot the dude who plays Jason in Roseblood, but he's a monster, man. He is a monster.
Yeah, I have to check it out. Like, I don't want to get spoiled too much, so I will.
I'm not going to say nothing, but he's a monster. You'll love it. You'll love it.
I'm definitely looking forward to that, just because it's a newer Jason.
It's amazing, honestly.
All right, so we got kind of sidetracked there. We kind of covered fan films real quick. So, anything you want to add to part 2?
No, other than it's like I love it that much. There's not many films that I can watch back to back straight after, like back on. Done that with part 2.
All right, so we're going to recap for people that are new in the chat here. Spawn's rankings thus far are in the D category, only one, which is Jason X. In his C was Jason Takes Manhattan. That's the only one. In the B column, from bottom to top, we got Freddy vs. Jason. Jason Goes to Hell. He likes Creighton Duke, and like I said, I'm gonna have to, we'll talk about this offline because we can't have that. Don't play it. The OG is at the middle there, and then part 3 is at his top of the B, and then A we got part 5 and part 2, and for the most part we're kind of like-minded. Mine bottom was Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and C was Freddy vs. Jason, Jason Takes Manhattan, part 3. My B was part 6, and then in my A I do have part 2 and part 5. We do agree on that. All right, so what do you got next?
It's Jason Lives. All of Jason Lives. CJ Graham was a great Jason. Jason Lives for me is the more And if you agree with me, it's not straight up horror. It's got like a bit of comedy in there, like where the um, the caravan's going and he's tilting his head, like what the hell's going on in there? It's brilliant, and there's some fun kills in there. Like I say, CJ Graham's just a blast as Jason. Um, yeah, it's a good balance. It feels like, I don't know if you'll agree with me. It's the only Jason film that feels like a horror comedy, like with how it is. Um, I don't know if you agree with that, but it feels like horror comedy to me with some of the parts.
I mean, I think there's some.
Really pushed that.
I think there's some parts that are unintentionally funny, such as like wherever the red dot go, you bang. Like, yeah, to me that's one of those quotes. You're like, what? Like,
yeah, it's crazy. And like I said, the scene that made me laugh out loud, it still makes me laugh out loud now, is you know, they're in the caravan and they're having sex, and like the caravan's moving, and Jason's just tilting his head like, "What the hell's going on in there?" It's like, what the hell's going on?
Yep.
That's brilliant. Another scene I love is the when you got Alice Cooper playing, which love Alice Cooper.
Oh yeah.
As well, and you just see like straight through his head, good kill. That flies over, he gets out. Oh shit! Spoilers, by the way. Sorry, peeps.
No, I think we're good.
And it just jumps out, smashes it open, and he's on top. He just looks like a beast on there. Yeah, I think Jason Lives, man. It's just the balance is perfect for me. There's nothing bad that I can say about this film. I absolutely adore this film, and I love it. I think. Every character I love. One of my favourite kills is where he gets the bloke and the police, takes his back straight.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Yep.
That hurts my back every time I watch it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sometimes might feel good though. I think every now and then, especially getting older.
One of my favourites. I can't remember the kid, but they're all underneath the bed, and they're like, "So what were you gonna be when you grow up?"
Oh yeah. And that's
funny as well.
And that kind of also showed that Jason doesn't kill kids. You know, that was kind of. It kind of. I don't know. Weird. Yeah, I don't know if they showed that. I don't know if they've ever showed that before. But I guess Jason being like, essentially a child mind, you know, a child in a man's body, you kind of understand why he doesn't do that.
I think he's got like some sort of sympathy for kids, and I think you see that a little bit in another film that we'll come to at some point.
You know, and we talked about fan films. For me, I think Part 6 is, you know, even though it's a big production movie studio film, to me, I think giving this film to Tom McLaughlin, and it was Tom McLaughlin, the director, right? Yeah, Tom McLaughlin, and kind of giving him the reins. He was a fan of the movies, and I really feel like Part 6 does justice for Jason because it feels like it's a fan making the movie.
You can feel it because, like, to me, there's not a bad character in it. The cast is brilliant in my opinion. Like I said, there's no character that annoys me. There's no character that I want it dead. Also, I love the scene, you know, where they're playing the paintball scene and the shooting with the paintball, and it's just like, why you shooting Jason with the paintball? And that what's his name? The one with the glasses, he loses his glasses, is the geeky one. That's hilarious.
And so, do you know the kind of the uncut, uncensored version? Spoiler for anybody. His death is probably one of the worst deaths in Friday the 13th history. Like, he gets like just eviscerated.
Yeah, and I wish we got more uncut versions of these films. And it makes me laugh where he smashes his head and you got the smiley face as well. That's great.
Yeah, yep. That was
into the tree.
Yeah, that was I am, you know, there was that one kid, the guy that was driving the RV. Like, I'm glad he died. People that are so oblivious to things. I'm like, just go away. And him getting killed, him getting killed was like, all right, good.
Okay, it's just, I think overall, I think the cast was perfect, and I think Jason Lives is just a good fun horror film, and I think they balanced the horror with the parts of comedies that we got, and CJ Graham's performance is up there as one of the best in my opinion.
I agree. And actually, talking to you, I might move this up to A because I have mine at B. You have yours at A, and I think we might agree here because now that I've thought about it, um, it is it does have a lot of the good things that I really like about movies and how it kind of pays homage and it kind of is. You can tell that the director cared. I might move mine up to A.
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. It's one of them. It's one of them where if somebody wants to get into horror, Part 6 would be one of them that I'd give them. Get into it.
I can't change my list or my mind. Hey, don't tell me what to do. It's funny too because Tony Goldwyn's in this movie, who, if you guys don't know, is the big bad in the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, and his scene with actually Tom McLaughlin's wife, Nancy McLaughlin, when the VW bug in Part 6 is like Jason's just standing in the road and he's like, "Hey, maybe I'll just go at him," and he just stands there. That is a great scene where like
it's amazing, eh?
Yeah, like where like he stabs the tires and they're like, "Oh crap."
Yeah. Smashes the window through. It's brilliant.
Yep.
Tries to run him over. It's mental. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, I believe Nancy almost got seriously hurt in that scene.
Yeah, she nearly did. The glass was, I believe, meant to break like one way, but it like come flying at her, and she luckily, nothing really happened. But I remember watching. I think that's called Crystal Light Memories as well, the Blu-ray edition, and it's like on for hours and hours and hours. And I just like watched a lot, and she spoke about it, man. Like leaning on a glass hitter because it went wrong.
Yeah, I think so I'm probably gonna get myself in trouble here, but my wife and we ended up watching the Camp Crystal Lake Memories on, I think it was on Shudder at the time. And I was supposed to go out with one of my buddies, and I didn't realize I think it was like 10 hours long. And then we were like, "Oh yeah, we don't feel like going out now. We're gonna stay home." That's because we wanted to watch that thing. So we started watching. Yeah, we started watching like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we didn't get done till like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I do exactly the same. I'm telling you.
Yeah, like it was so good. I mean, it just. We can talk about that here in a little bit too, but it keeps you entertained. The everything that they talk about, just great knowledge.
Just another throw in there. I'm sure you've seen it, but His Name Was Jason was another good documentary.
Oh, his name's yep.
That was another good one. His Name Was Jason. It looks like now we're in the GOAT tier.
Let's see here. Gotta go back to your. Oh yeah, we are. All right.
Right. The next in the GOAT tier, and there's a little. When I get to the main one, there's a little thing here that might confuse you, but I'll get to that once we get to it. But next in the GOAT tier is a film that gets hate that I don't understand because it gets everything right that people love with Friday the 13th and throws it back tenfold with a great performance from Derek Myers, which is the remake. I've never understood this hate. It's one of the better remakes in my opinion. Jason's a Beast by Derek, and sure, I think it's really annoying. What's his name? But he's a good annoying because you want him to die. What's his name? Gets that good kill at the end where he's up and slammed. Forgot his name, but I hate. He was annoying, but he was good at annoying because you wanted him to die, and I think that's what they was going for.
Oh yeah, Travis. Travis was the name, right?
Yeah, Travis. You get Sam in there from Supernatural, which was an added bonus for me because I absolutely adore Supernatural. It's my all-time favourite TV series. And never understood the hatred for this remake because to me, it does everything right that you love with Friday the 13th and just throws it back like tenfold at you. And it's one of the better remakes.
I agree with you. I think it's a fantastic remake that it pays not only homage to, the first 3 movies, because, I mean, essentially the first 20 minutes is parts 1, 2, and 3 all the way through. But then, like, it answers a lot of questions that people had, like about the Friday the 13th series, like how does he get from point A to point B so quick?
Yeah.
And it's the tunnel system. Annabelle says the movie's brilliant, and yep, I agree. Annabelle, the movie's fantastic, and obviously Spawn agrees. Um, it is, it is amazing. It answers it has a tunnel system. Well, people are like, well, Jason runs. Well, obviously he runs. Like if you watch any of the movies, like he runs.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's stupendous. It is. Yes, the movie's placement is stupendous.
It's stupendous, yeah. I like it. I like it. Stupendous, brilliant, and just like the fire scene, man. Like again, sorry for spoiler speech, but the fire scene is brilliant. Where he that's just brutal. I love how he finds the hockey mask as well, and he's like looking in the mirror, like, "Yeah, man, I look real good in this."
Yeah, dude, the kid that gives him I said gives him the mask, but he's like, "Oh, I almost opened up a can of whoop ass on you." Like that was great.
Yeah. And I just love how he finds the hockey mask, and then the music starts playing, and then he puts the mask on in the mirror, and it just tilts his head. I love it, man. The remake, man. To me, there's nothing bad about this film. There is nothing bad about it whatsoever.
No, I think it's great. I think Jared Padalecki's very good in it. Derek Mears, a guy who plays Jason, is absolutely a fantastic beast. And while we're talking, cheers, chat. Pouring me a Jameson Coke. So if you hear anything, apologies. Funny story with Derek. We were on Twitter, and I ended up with him and Brad Fuller got into like a conversation about Friday the 13th and the remake and the sequel, and would we ever see Derek, as Jason again, and kind of became a thing where Derek's like, "You're just stalking me now." So I have my NECA Derek Mears Friday the 13th figure, and when I went and met him, he signed it. And he signed it to the guy that stalks me on Twitter, or to my favorite stalker on Twitter, something like that. But it was great. It was great. I can't remember actually what it says, but it's something along the lines of stalking on Twitter.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. I haven't met Derek yet. I got to. Talking to Derek Mears, you have the big Jason Voorhees figure of him? Do you have the big one?
No, I have the NECA 10-inch.
I've got two of them, and I've got the big one. I mean, it's massive. It's like this. I got that one.
No, the only big one that I have, giggity, is which one is it? I want to say it's Freddy vs. Jason.
I've got that one. I don't know. You can just about see his head at the bottom there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's I ain't met Derek Mears yet, but I definitely need to meet him. And another cool factor, which is Kane Hodder and Derek actually fighting at each other, which is awesome.
Oh yeah. We
That's amazing.
We will. I think this will be a continuing series that we should be doing, and we can definitely talk about Hatchet down the road, because love that series.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we spoke about this before. I think you could do every franchise, man.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I think you and I's horror knowledge is fairly good. So, and we are
not going to do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre ones with me. You're not going to want to do that with me.
So I can tell you right now. Here's my list. First one, goat. The rest, crap. No, I'm playing.
You ain't gonna want to do that with me.
I know where you're gonna rank the good. Well, I don't know, but I know you like the new one, and yeah. That'll be a conversation for a different stream, because
He will be. I'm looking forward to that.
You both need to carry this on. I mean, I'm in. If he's in, I'm in. This was
We'll do all the franchises. We'll do them all. Every single franchise we'll go through.
Yeah, my Texas Chainsaw Massacre list isn't that bad. Like, it's not OG good and the rest crap. It's sprinkled about, but Yeah.
I mean, if you want, could make this a Sunday thing if you wanted to. If you wanted to next, it's up to you. I don't mind what franchise you want to do next after this Friday the 13th ranking, but we could do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre if you'd like next.
Yeah, that or people are saying Halloween in chat, so either or. I'm down for whatever.
Okay. We'll decide if you want. I mean,
yeah, this is my normal stream day. I know this is your day off, so whatever works for you. It's I mean,
Sunday will be fine.
All right.
Will be fine.
I know during the weekdays will be tough because I don't get off till 8, like my time, which is 1 p.m. your time. 1 a.m.
I mean, what now? It's 8:30 right now, but it's fine. It's still my day off because I play like video games. We're just talking horror. So if you wanted to make this like a Sunday thing, I'm happy with that.
Okay, yeah, I'm in. Sure.
And then we'll choose them. We'll see. Or if you want to leave it to a vote thing on your chat between Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't really mind.
I'll start a poll right now.
Okay, and then we'll do Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Halloween.
So while I'm creating a poll, continue on for your Friday the 13th remake.
Not really got a lot more to add now for the remake. If I'm honest, like I said, I love the film. I love Derek Myers. I think the cast is brilliant. There's not one. When I say there's not one that annoys me. Yes, he annoys me. I forgot his name again. He annoys me, but I think he's purposely meant to annoy you, if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Travis. Yeah, 100%.
So he nails that part because he which, by the way, I know we're going on about Friday the 13th, but it's still related in a way because we're still talking about the actors. The one that plays him is also in, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you watched You, the TV series?
No.
He's in the TV series You.
Oh, okay. I know that. What is? I don't want to create a. Okay, I'm gonna create a poll for 10 minutes. Okay, start poll. Yeah, I definitely don't want to. I mean, I definitely want to watch it, but like I think I told you in your chat, like I don't like getting around to TV shows is just a little difficult for me, but I need to get better at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a TV series buff as well, if I'm honest. But yeah, I've not really got much to add to the remake, apart from it's one of the better remakes. I think it's amazing. And if you love Friday the 13th, I don't understand why people don't love this film. I mean, that's just my opinion, but to me, it's like I've already said, it takes everything that you love about Friday the 13th and just...
Yeah, it makes
the ante for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great. I think it does what it's supposed to do, and it pays. Like again, I keep using this word homage, but it keeps paying like homage to the series.
Yeah.
While keeping the lore and adding to it as well. I think it's because it added the tunnel system and all that other stuff, and to me, it's fantastic. Derek is a great Jason.
Yeah, he's amazing, and he was very respectful to the franchise as well.
All right, y'all. The poll is up. Feel free to put a vote up there. We got Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hatchet, and then I just threw it in there because I couldn't think of anything else off the top of my head. But the Living Dead series, like the George Romero films. I don't know how big of a fan of those you are, but we can definitely. I'll add more to it later, but figure cover the big ones right now. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with them all.
Okay.
I don't mind any of them. So, next on the GOAT series, list is, for me, and this is what I'm talking about, this is weird, right? It's obvious what number one is, but I think this is the better movie. It's Kane Hodder, why the other one's number one. The final chapter for me is the most perfect Friday the 13th film, in my opinion. The final chapter is the perfect one. I think this is not only one of my all-time favourite Friday the 13th films. It's one of my all-time favourite horror films of all time. Like I've just said it, I think this is the perfect Friday the 13th film. I think it's amazing, and I just Jason in this is petrifying to me. It's like he mixes his style between part 3 and part 2, where he's got like the buildness and the structure and the way he moves from part 3, and then he's got like the running of part 2, and mixes it perfectly. And plus he scares Thingy in real life. What's his name?
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman. Yeah. Which I'm not the biggest fan of, but he his day he was a good actor in my opinion.
Yeah, I had some Corey Feldman stories. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he was good in his young days in my opinion, and he was a good Tommy in my opinion. I'll be honest, I enjoyed his performance as Tommy. Ted, I'm sure you already know this absolutely scared the crap out of him when he just smashed through the window and grabbed him.
Yeah.
He gave him nightmares and proper scared him. And Ted as well is one of my favourite Jasons as well. He's very, very close to Kane Hodder for me and Derek Myers.
Did you get to meet Ted yet?
No, unfortunately not. I'd love to meet him. I've got it ready there. I've got like a big framed poster of the poster from the final chapter. Like I say, it's weird because the film that's before this, I love the film, but it's mainly because of Kane Hodder's performance. I do think this is the better movie. But like I say, to me, if I'm honest, this is the perfect Friday the 13th film. This is the perfect one.
So I don't know if you'll be able to get to meet him now or not. I think he's kind of retired from the convention circuit. He might show up. I don't know. I think he's pushing 90 now.
I guess I'd have to go to I guess what I'll do is maybe go on to a website or something and like just order like a signature from him. Like you can do that.
Yeah.
But at least I've still got it, if that makes sense, because I can't remember where you ranked for the final chapter, but
I ranked it A.
If it wasn't for Kane Hodder, this would be number 1.
No, I ranked it A, right below the OG and what we agree is the best movie of the series. Trying to figure out. He has a web page, and I want to send it to you.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think.
So funny. It's a great film. I Corey Feldman aside, I think his performance is great.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Ted White's 96. Hey, can you find me his website and post the link in the chat for me? He's 96. Yeah, he's probably done. He's probably not doing conventions anymore. Corey Feldman's great. I mean, that's Tommy Jarvis. And you are right. Like I like Corey Feldman and like License to Drive and his earlier movies like The Goonies and Stand By Me. So
they're brilliant. I'll be honest.
Adult Corey Feldman is a whole different topic. We can spend 2 hours talking about that.
I'm not a fan of him.
No.
Real life, like acting ability wise in his young days, I thought he was brilliant. Like I say, his portrayal of Tommy was amazing. He was brilliant. I love the reaction that he got from Ted when Ted grabbed him through the wind, like smashed through and grabbed him. That was pure terror, and you could see that he was scared to death. And Ted didn't actually like him either as a kid.
Yep.
And he enjoyed scaring him. You could tell. And Ted was a beast, man. He was brilliant. And the end scene is one of the best end scenes in my opinion. Like just like spoiler alert to people, but like give it a little bit in case people want to and come back. But He gets it with the machete and he slides down, man. It's brutal.
Yeah.
And I understand why they got Tom Savini as well, thinking it was going to be the end, because what a way it would have been to end it. Thankfully, it didn't end, because for me, I'd be happy if we got Friday the 13th 100 when in the next 10 years or something.
You're right.
I'd still be watching.
It'd be nice, with production the way as they are now. Like, I don't see it ever happening, but it'd be nice if they went like when we first started getting the Friday the 13th series, how we got one every year. It would be great if like that trend just continued, like Saw. Like it would just be a every year tradition. And
It'd be amazing. I'd love it.
I got my cat meow. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Um,
Couldn't hear it.
I agree. Like Ted White was also like a beast as Jason, but he was also he's also a really good dude. Like he stood up for a lot of the actors in the movie. What was her name with hypothermia in the lake? He said he'd walk off. He'd quit if they didn't pull her out of the water.
Was really ill. I forgot her name.
Her name. He did. I mean, he was really stand up. Funny story. When I met Ted White, had him. I got an original 27 by 40 one sheet of Part 4, and I got some signatures on it, and Ted, kind of being older, wasn't really paying attention and signed my poster upside down. So like I got my poster framed and all these signatures on it, and then like there's Ted White's signature like upside down, like right in the middle of the freaking poster. I'm like, damn it. Yeah. I mean, like it stands out, but I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I can't imagine you got them all right, and then you got the one upside down. That's brilliant.
Yeah, like everybody's good, and then it's like, yeah, look at that, you're upside down.
Left his mark on it.
Yeah, show us the poster. I can't. It's in storage right now because my office is being quote unquote built. All my horror stuff.
I'll see it when you've done that, because I've seen pictures of your old room and it looked brilliant.
Cheers for that. Yeah, I definitely missed that basement. That was my horror basement for sure.
So I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's finished as well. I'm looking forward to that, and I've still got a lot to do, believe it or not, in this room. Like, there's still loads of stuff I've got to get. Honest to God, the first thing I see before going to bed to sleep, and the first thing I wake up seeing is Jason, because I've got Jason. I've even got a Jason. You know the New Blood pillow.
Yeah.
I've got the Jason pillow. So
nice.
The first thing I wake up when I see, first thing in the morning I see is Jason, and I've got the cardboard cutout there as well. And people that's come into my room, they're like, "Why is he there? It looks like he's looking at you." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I want it to feel like the films, like like where he's stalking you from a distance." So, and then my mate was like, "So you want it to seem like Jason stalking you?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah,
just a little bit. Yeah, because I've got him like all over the walls as well. Because like, I get it. Like people are like, why don't you just have like the Jason wall? I'm like, no, because I like it in the movies where he's like sort of feels like he's everywhere. If that makes sense.
Yep. We
That's why I've got him like everywhere. I think people that are not a fan of horror probably find it a bit weird, but people that love horror and are passionate about it as us get it.
Oh yeah, people that don't really understand horror, like whenever they saw my basement, they're like, "Are you like a serial killer?" I'm like, "No."
That's what it is. And like people get scared. I'm like horror don't scare me, man. Like if you want to scare me, show me a spider, then I'm gone.
Yeah, right. 1,000%. 1,000%.
You know what I mean? I like spiders. But yeah, there's not a lot I could say about the final chapter. It's weird. It's not number one because I do think this is the perfect Friday the 13th film for me. The reason why the film above it is number one is because of Kane Hodder's performance, and it's amazing. Which, do you want to jump into that?
Yeah, we'll go. That's a good segue into it.
Want to say on part 4?
Oh, that's a good segue.
Okay, the number one is the New Blood for me. Now, the New Blood, this is one that I see when you look at Friday the 13th rankings. It's never normally up there, which I've never really understood. I mean, I'd love to see an uncut version. I don't think we're going to see that. I've seen showed you the clip where like they edited it in like on YouTube. There's some of the kills that we've missed out on that I wish we'd get released, but destroyed out unfortunately. but I still love the New Blood. I love the whole idea, really, of Jason versus Carrie. That's basically what it is, really. Um, now, as I've admitted, I do think the final chapter is the better movie, but Kane Hodder in this film just breathes new life that Jason needed. He looks scarier. You explained it best in your stream as well, when he stands there and he's breathing and he tilts his head differently to other Jasons. He just looks pissed. He gives life to a zombie, basically, because he's zombie Jason at this point, and he gives life to him. And the New Blood is still a great film, and Tina, great as well. Like I say, I don't know if you read it. This was meant to be Jason versus Carrie.
Yep. Well, Jason versus.
Where the idea come from?
That was supposed to be Jason versus Freddy, actually. But they couldn't. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason, and then the studios couldn't get anything aligned, so that's why they ended up giving her like some telekinesis powers to kind of.
Because what I heard, I mean, I don't know for sure, but what I heard is when they couldn't get Freddy versus Jason, they tried to get the actor from Carrie. She wouldn't do it, so they got Tina to sort of like cover in to like they call it Jason versus Carrie, but they sort of got the idea from Carrie because they wanted somebody to be able to actually put up a real fight against Jason, make it like more interesting. That's I mean, another great thing is like it makes me laugh where she's slinging the head to his face and he falls over.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean that would be the first time I heard that it was like it was supposed to be Carrie and not Freddy, because what I've heard and read was it was always going to be Freddy versus Jason, and then they ended up the studios couldn't get the rights going or the profit sharing how they were going to do it, so they took Freddy out and rode. And obviously they couldn't have Tina like invading dreams and things like that, so they gave her the telekinesis powers. And I'm not saying that was right or wrong. That's just what I've heard. I know you've heard about the Carrie thing, which I'll do some research offline too, because that's interesting. That's the case.
That's what I heard. I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere as well, like where it was meant to be like because I couldn't get like the real Carrie. You just got created Tina to like. Sort of be like some sort of Harry, but I think either way, I think I'd have still, whether it would have been Carrie or not, or Freddy, which would have been the ultimate Freddy versus Jason, if we'd have got it right now, could it have been Kane Hodder, even though it was his first performance. But like I say, I don't think people realise what Kane Hodder done for Jason Voorhees. It's the best looking Jason, in my opinion.
Agreed.
The best looking Jason, like I say, he breathed life into the zombie Jason and made him look even more scary, because in the other films you could sort of sense he was pissed off, but in this film you can tell when he's pissed off. You can see it.
Oh yeah, like you can like when like he gets hit with something, and like he kind of turns back and then like kind of starts doing that like Hulk breathing thing. You're like, oh, like,
yeah, I love it.
Like you have pissed that guy off.
And the respect to Kane Hodder, because people that don't know, Kane Hodder had a fire accident, and for him to do that fire scene is crazy. Yep.
That was at the time that was the longest burn.
Crazy. It was. I'm sure you've seen as well the Kane Hodder documentary.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's fantastic. One of the best documentaries out there. Honestly, people watching it, you haven't got to be a fan of horror to appreciate his documentary and what he's done, and how much of a nice bloke he actually is, and how awesome he is. He was, but I couldn't believe it for him. A fire stunt to go wrong, and for him to go through the pain he went through, come back to the longest at that time fire stunt is mad to me. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's incredible that he was able to do it. Because I mean, you and I know, like if we burn our hand on a stove, like if like if we have a scar or something like that, like if it even starts to get hot, we're like, no, 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 and he's over here doing full body burns.
Yeah, yeah, and after all that, he still goes and does it. I mean, look, I agree with kind of going back to Freddy versus Jason. Now, I get it. Actors, it's their jobs. They have to make a living. Of course, I get that. And normally, when I hear actors say, "Oh, I'd do it for free," I'm like, "You wouldn't," but fair enough. But with Kane Hodder, I actually believe it. I believe he'd have done it for free.
I mean, he pushed so hard for that movie, and
He did.
for him not to get Freddy vs. Jason, play Jason was, I mean, you talk about like cinematic travesties, and obviously, like a little bit of hyperbole on my part, but like to me, it's right up there as one of the, at least the biggest injustices. I mean,
Right.
obviously, I think the Twilight Zone accident is probably the worst thing that ever happened, but I think the, Kane Hodder's not being cast as Jason is rough. He pushed for it. He pushed for it so hard. He brought the character to life, and like part 7, all the things that they do with part 7 to make Jason kind of stand out, like how his body shows all the wear and tear from the previous 2, 3, 4. So the previous 4 films where Jason's in, like the adult Jason, like all the wear and tear, like the axe, the machete mark on his mask, John Carl did so good at replicating all of that, and it was fantastic. And like you said, Kane is generally probably one of the nicest dudes anybody will ever get to know. Michael
Really
Alon-
is. He's
Michael,
so down to earth.
yeah, like Michael Alonzi, the guy that created the book for him, and then ultimately the documentary. Also a good dude. Um, like the stories that they got about Kane and how he goes to like burn units and help kids out and just everything is amazing.
Really down to earth guy. I mean, he made me laugh, man. Because when I first met him, like I think I've told you this before, but there was a dude standing next to me, excited to meet Kane Hodder, and he had a Michael Myers t-shirt on, and seen him, and he sort of give him like the Jason and tilt, and he says, "Michael Myers." He's like, "I have to fucking kill you, mate." He's like, Michael Myers come to see me playing about with him, and it was hilarious, man. And I spoke to him. I told him, my favourite Friday the 13th was the New Blood, and he was talking to me about his favourite kill, which used to be the sleeping bag kill, but obviously it's the one from Hatchet now. But I says, my still favourite kill you've ever done is sleeping bag kill. I love that one. And he was talking to me about the New Blood and making it, and he'd still love to play Jason again.
I hope that he gets to play Jason one more time. Like I know he's pushing almost damn near 70 now, maybe mid 60s. But I hope he gets to play it one more time. And like I hope he gets to play Victor some more.
I think he will, because he's still built like a brick. Like, he still goes on the weights. He's
Oh,
still
yeah.
energetic. He's still a beast. I mean, he's still out here. Like, you can tell he's always on the weights.
Yep.
So he could say, and like I say, we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game coming, which is also played by Kane Hodder. So
Yep.
I think, yeah, I think unless you're like a Friday the 13th fanatic, I think people will realise what he done for the Jason character to bring him to life, because I get it, like, you've still got to be a good actor to play Jason, but you still all you got to do is put the mask on, be menacing. Jason breathed life into a zombie Jason and made him feel more terrifying. You could see when he was angry, and it made me laugh as well, where like Tina's like wrapping the stuff around his neck, and that action you see with the mask off, and he's like got it off, and his teeth are like bent, like,
Yep.
and you could see the anger in his face, and he really brings the anger, and it's just like seeing Jason get pissed off sort of made me laugh as well when the mask's off and everything, and the axe kill as well. When she opens the door, smash right in her face and just throws her over.
Yep. I got that scene tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, you have. I love that scene. There's a poster. Let me just get my frame. There's a poster that I know that you'll love.
Okay.
That I've got framed. I'll get it here because it's from the New Blood as well. I've got a lot of New Blood posters.
Good. You're good, as you should. Yeah, he's right though. Like, I think Kane is probably ultimately the best of the best. And even if you have your own likes, oh, that's nice. Oh, I like that a lot.
I've got another one that I showed you on stream before. That's got to be. I'll put it back up after we're done. Got another one that's got to be framed. It's I showed you on stream before. I got that. I've got quite a few of the New Blood. I've got the original poster up there. I've got that poster. I've got a poster down there of the New Blood. I've got a lot of the New Blood stuff. Just because, like I say, I don't think people realise, unless you're an horror nut or a Friday the 13th nut, what Kane had brought to the Jason character. And that's not a knock to anybody that's played him. Like I say, I think everybody that's played Jason, even my least favourite Jason, still played him well. But Kane had brought something to Jason that nobody else brought, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree. I think as far as Jasons go, if you are a fan of the series, you can always have like your favorites. Like Richard can be your favorite, or hell, Ari Lehman, the kid Jason, can be your favorite. But I think at the end of the day, though, everybody has to respect the fact what Kane Hodder did and brought to the role. Essentially, even though it's just a masked, silent killer, he was still able to just add stuff to it. Kane will sign your stuff for free if you're getting tattooed. Yes, this is confirmed. Ari is a douche. Oh, well, fair enough. He hit on my wife at one convention with like his wife like right next to him or by him or something like that. So, a little bit of a funny story. Or by, I think it was actually maybe I was by him. He was hitting on my wife. I don't know. I just know he was hitting on her.
You've had Bruce Campbell and Kane Hodder.
Yep. Kane, man, like I told you, Kane used to choke people like on photo ops and stuff like that, but he can't do it anymore because somebody sued him because they claimed he got injured, and now he can't do his famous choke anymore. But he'll still grab your shoulders, man, like the Vulcan neck grip, death grip, and let you know what's up. Like we like I said, we've kind of, my wife and I've kind of really become friends with him, and like every time he sees us, he's like, "How do you have more shit for me to sign? Like this is idiotic. Like I've signed all your stuff. Go away."
And it does surprise me. Like he's just so down to earth, and you can tell that he's so down to earth, and him and Robert Englund. This is why I've always got a sour taste when it comes to Freddy versus Jason, even though I still like the movie. It just gives me a sour taste, man, because I'm like, it should have been Kane versus Robert.
Yep.
And both of them are two of the most down-to-earth blokes I've ever met in my life.
Yep, they're both legit good people, and I hopefully again get to play it one more time. That's just kind of my hope. I mean, I know we're kind of
crossed.
Yeah. I mean, and now the lawsuit's over. I hope Victor and Sean can work out whatever profit sharing they need to work out, get it figured out, and go from there. Like I can't imagine any one of those guys wants to miss out on money, even if it's. I'm sure Sean's probably going to want 50-50. Victor's probably going to want like 60-40, 70-30. But I think 30% of fucking $100 million is $30 million more than I'll ever see. So,
I don't understand the problem is with both of them. They're both going to make you money. So, if you start bringing stuff out now, us Friday the 13th fans and horror fans are starving for Jason.
Yup.
Like, you could release a 10-minute cartoon with Jason, and I'm going to go and buy it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd buy it because I want more Jason stuff. So, And going back to Kane Hodder and favourite Jasons, I always notice it seems to be Kane Hodder or Richard Brooker that people go for.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that. I think Richard brought the mask, so he gets that credit because the hockey mask, obviously, and then Kane making the role bigger than what it was. I think both those guys are. I think that's actually probably my one too, with Ted being 3. I take that.
He's getting enough respect.
Where do I want to go now? I actually, after I said that, I kind of caught myself. I think Kane, and I think Richard and Derek Mears together. I don't. I think I gotta put Derek with Richard just because I love Derek. Yeah.
It's hard for me because I love Ted White.
Yeah.
I love Ted as well, but I do love Richard Brooker, and to me, I still don't see Derek Myers get the respect he deserves, and I still don't understand why that remake. It's just our opinion, of course, but I don't understand why it don't get the love it gets, man. Like I've seen it get like more respect recently, but
well, that's
a lot of.
That's the thing. That's the thing is like the movie's older now. Because if you notice, like us, like I say us horror fans, probably not you and I in particular, but like horror fans in general, once something comes out, like it's like, oh, this is really good, and then we get on social media and bash it for years, and then once it's reached a certain age, like it triggers in somebody else's, like triggers in everybody's head. They're like, oh, it's a really good movie. So like the remake came out in 2009. So what? We're 13 years now. So everybody's like, oh, that's really good.
It's true, and I do think it comes down to this. I think for whatever reason, I do believe this. I'm not 100% obvious because I don't know for sure. I can't go in people's heads, but I think people just follow sheep these days. Like if there's a good film and somebody says it's crap, they'll say it's crap just because they don't want to look out. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they want to sound cool and edgy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't get it. It's like me. I'm always gonna love Jason Goes to Hell. No matter how many people don't like it, I'm always gonna love that film. I've got a mate. His favourite Halloween film, not the original. It's actually Part 6.
Oh yeah, the producer's cut or the regular cut?
Producer's cut.
Okay, all right, that's a little better, but not much.
That's his favourite Halloween. He's even got, the mark, the curse.
Oh, the Curse of Thorn. Yep.
He's got it tattooed. It's his favourite Halloween film. He's obsessed with it.
I mean, I guess if it's your first thing you watched, maybe I could see. I mean, but even then, like, hell, I mean, if you like it, you like it. Like, who am I to judge?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing for Halloween because there will be there's some surprises there as well. We're both gonna agree on our bottom one on how that much.
Yeah.
We'll agree on that.
I sure do hope so.
Yeah, we'll agree on the bottom. That's for sure. There'll be some surprises, but I ain't going to say nothing in case that it gets picked for us to do Halloween. But I'm really looking forward to doing all of these. And
well, I'm going to put a poll on Facebook and Twitter. The poll on Twitch, they want us to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, so we'll see what the polls on Twitter and Facebook do. So we'll see.
There's going to be some surprises with Nightmare on Elm Street. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I think I know. I 100% know where the remake falls for you and I. But then we'll have to figure out where everything else goes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to doing that. But do you know? I've got to be honest. If I'm just going to say this before we finish up as well. Kane Hodder's my favourite Jason. Then, for me, I can't choose between Ed, Eric, and Richard Brooker. I like them all equal. They're all my second. I'm cheating.
Yeah, honestly, I'd probably go with you on that too. I think we'd be in agreement. Like Kane, obviously one, and then
Kane's my number one.
Derek, Richard, Ted, up in there. Am I going to post this on YouTube? Yes.
I just can't choose.
Yeah, this is we've been recording now for 2 hours and 5 minutes, so this is going to be a long ass video on YouTube with a lot of ad rolls apparently, but that's the way it goes.
It's fine, but it's fun, man. I'm looking forward to doing all these franchises with you. I'm sure we can. Don't know. I'm sure we can find a lot of horror discussions that we can find, not just franchises as well. But first, we'll get all the big franchises as well, and then we can do like others as well, like Hatchet. And now we could make this a regular thing. Sunday, we could talk about upcoming horror films that we're excited about.
Yeah, I mean, well, we can even start doing like once we get to a certain point, start talking about like newer shit, newer trailers, and like the Black Phone coming out. I don't know if you saw the trailer yet or not. Like, I'm dying to see that.
Still gotta watch that. I watched that. Yeah.
So I'm dying to see that. But yeah, this is I'm in on this. I'm 1,000% in on this because this is fun.